I know it's Monday and perhaps things aren't going as well as you'd like for them to today. Maybe the circumstances or even with the people around you. But remember, the sixth commandment says, thou shalt not kill. Good morning, I'm Pastor Ernie Lewis of the Blue Point Church in Sisney, Illinois, with your thoughts for Monday. You know, we may struggle with some commandments, but this one seems pretty easy when I consider I have never really murdered anyone that I can recall anyway. But he says there in Exodus chapter 20 and verse 13, the sixth commandment, you shall not commit murder. Now, does this mean that I can get so angry with a person that I come, just this close to strangling them? But as long as I let them up and let them revive, then I'm okay. The concept of killing is not being dealt with here because we know it happens in wartime. We also recognize capital punishment was actually allowed by God's law in the Old Testament. So there are a couple of things we should consider in regards to this command. First of all, murder seems to entail a premeditated thought process with planning to go through with an act that actually ends someone else's life. By the way, Jesus taught a principle about this in Matthew chapter 5 and verse 21. Whoever murders will be in danger of the judgment. But I say to you that whoever is angry with his brother without a cause shall be in danger of the judgment, and whoever says to his brother, Raca, shall be in danger of the council. But whoever says, you fool, shall be in danger of hell fire. These examples seem to be a progression of the feelings of one's heart. You know, when we harbor resentment or anger, maybe even hatred in our heart, it is a transgression of God's law. For God's law clearly says, you shall love your neighbor as yourself. So Jesus said such things here as be reconciled to your brother or agree with your adversary quickly lest he turn on you and turn you over to the judge. We also realize what an offense it is to take a human life. Since we are all made in the image of God himself, we are his image bearers. We cannot neglect to mention the recent decision about Roe versus Wade. This so-called court ruling has actually allowed the senseless killing of unborn babies for nearly 50 years. And they are the most defenseless of all God's creation, it seems. Corporations and employers have now vowed to make abortion still accessible for their employees, even offering benefits and large sums of money to propagate this act of murder. When God makes a human life, it is not only a beautiful miracle of creation all over again, but it is a human being that we must love and protect at all costs. So rather than just thinking this is all about not murdering someone, let's consider how God loves and cares for his own, each of his creation. And let's lay aside all anger and malice that harms us almost as much as it does others.